Welcome to the UDP Broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and offer both informed and uninformed opinions on gaming-related topics. I'm your host, Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by Imy, the Eternal Barcode.
Howdy, I have no voice tonight.
I was hoping you'd do the modem screams, but
I can't. I'm just
okay, all right, that's fine.
Oh, you wanted me to hit the button?
Yes.
Oh, that button. Sorry, I wasn't even prepared for that because that's sort of just this one.
Perfect.
Reese's Puff, Reese's Puff. Eat 'em up, eat 'em
Beat him
up.
up, beat him up, beat him up.
There you go.
From the depths of Louisiana, the Nordic Cajun.
Skull and Leslie Le Bolton Roulette, ladies and gentlemen.
And from the Emerald Dream, Raina, the Crit Chicken.
Ho, ho, ho. Omelette du fromage. Oh, wait, what? Sorry. Hey.
I added some new stuff. If you can't see, I changed up our format a little bit and separated us out, and we're nice and big and everything.
That's what she said.
Yeah, and custom nameplates. Oh, yeah.
This looks nice. I ain't even gonna lie. This looks sharp.
Good. This was like my initial vision, but I had to make do because I was XSplit stubborn. Here we are. Tonight, we're going to talk about brawlers, war, and drugs. So sit back, enjoy the show.
War, he says. War.
What is it good for? Absolutely no.
Copyright strikes.
Hey.
I saw a video on YouTube of somebody who off-key horribly sang Highway to the Danger Zone or whatever it's called, Danger Zone, and got flagged for it, even though it was completely off-key, like terrible rhythm, everything, and they still got flagged. So
It's so dumb. Like these companies need to just ease off, man.
It's like Blizzard. Oh, you're having fun? Hmm.
Or insert any corporation here.
Nerf bat. Nerf bat. Nerf bat.
Nerf bat indeed. So Brawlers, this is actually spawning off a conversation that Nordic and I had. Wednesday when we were testing out guest stars. You can see Nordic in all of his arm shirt glory.
Mm-hmm. One of the rare times you'll catch me without a hat because I was not prepared that night.
Oh yeah. He had rooster hair and everything. It was something to behold. And one of the stories that came across the news feed was that Multiversus had lost like 99% of active player base. Mind you, that's a lot considering it started off with a huge player base because of what it was. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they gave like an exact 9.7. Like it went from like 100,000 users or something like that to like it's not even breaking 1,000.
It's pretty much just the devs playing right now.
They're play testing. So so they had to report a loss on this, and they had to justify why. Why is it like this? Why what happened? A few things came to light. Whenever they decided to release it, they released what? I believe 3 playable characters, and they hyped them up pretty good. It was like Rick and Morty, or I think maybe Morty was in there, and they had to release Rick. There was Velma? No, they had quite a few. I know they were Flash and Daenerys, so it's pretty much all the IP from Warner Brothers. So whatever is inside of Warner Brothers' bucket, they
They dip their fanciful hand into.
Yeah, they metaversed it all to heck. So you can now fight with these.
Which is crazy because they have a very deep bucket of IP they can go in there and really pull from. I mean, you scratch the surface with some of the stuff they have in there already. They have freaking, like you said, I have a brain fart. I really do. My brain totally just shut down on me just now.
Well, there was
Ira Stark. Yeah, Stark from Game of Thrones is in there. Then you have Velma and Shaggy. They're in there. Bugs Bunny. You have Marvin the Martian now. You have the Iron Giant and Superman, which is iconically a very lovely team up. If you've ever seen the movie Iron Giant, they there's not much they can't touch in terms of their IPs. And we all know what this was supposed to be. There was supposed to be a brawler to go be quote unquote competition for Smash Brothers because Smash Brothers has its hands in a lot of IP. The difference is, I think you had brought this up when we first talked about it. Brawl literally has pretty much everybody except one player in their game.
Poor
I will harp on
Waluigi.
Waluigi. I will die on this hill for Waluigi. He got the shaft so bad in that damn game.
They'll put him in Mario Kart. They'll put him in tennis. They'll put him in soccer. But Smash Brothers, sorry, bro.
Oh, you're only good enough for a trophy. Sorry, dog.
I heard maybe Superman and Harley Quinn. But I was hoping if it is a Warner Brothers based universe thing, maybe Animaniacs.
Oh,
my
Animaniacs,
That would make
Freakazoid.
sense.
That'd be
Those are
great.
all make sense for Warner Brothers
Freakazoid
IP.
characters to bring them back because I posted like it would be nice to like bring them back. Like I know the officer Cosgrove probably won't be coming back because the voice actor is deceased, but just to bring life like with Freakazoid. Get out of here, you creep.
And what you said right there alone makes sense. They have all this stuff that they could pull from. And as Smash Brothers go along, like every year when after the Smash Brothers was released for the Switch, they came up with a DLC that had so many new characters, so many new stages, so much new music, so many new adjustments to the Wii characters that lets you play other characters that you want to play, like Sans from Undertale and Gino from Super Mario RPG, which he still should have been a main character, but I'm not going to get on that hill either. Um, and that's the model. That was the model Smash Brothers went with for years, and that's how it was able to stay popular for so many years. And there's still people playing the original Smash Brothers to this day because of the fan base, because they had that original set of good characters and released some as they went.
Well, let's not forget the fact that they have a massive roster to begin with of nothing but Nintendo IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy crap! We did the count on it. But angle it on.
Yeah, go ahead. Because it was originally only Nintendo IP and a little bit of Sega with Sonic showing up on the Wii version
And I totally didn't simp for Martha Roy. I totally did not.
at all. I know, probably
No.
not, huh? We don't
No.
talk. Nah. But when the Switch version came out, the IPs that Nintendo got their tentacles into, as it were, really shot out, even to the point where they were able to weasel one of Disney's players into the mix with Zora from Kingdom Hearts, which technically is more of a Square Enix character, but it partners with Disney. So the strings they had to pull to get that character with the Mickey Mouse logo on his Keyblade chain into a freaking Smash Brothers game, Morimoto pulled some dead gum strings with that.
Oh yeah.
Does that mean everybody that plays in Super Smash Brothers now is a Disney princess?
Yes,
Yes.
especially Waluigi and Wario.
So Smash has 89 playable characters with all of the DLCs and everything. That's massive. So,
It's huge.
you ready for the count for Multiverses?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see here. Let's count the rows. There's only 2 of them. 2, 4, 8, 10, 12. So 23. Because the 24th slot says more revealed soon. So you already didn't have a lot of variety, and they've also classed them out. So fighters, assassins, support, things like that. So there's a team brawler, so there it is. Like they have a character in there called Rain Dog. I don't even know where that's from.
Me either. I've been trying to figure that out myself.
But
But 23 is not bad for a game that's just coming out. Like most mainstream, I don't want to compare it because I still don't believe to this day that Smash Brothers is a fighting game. It is a brawler, huge difference. But if you're looking at rosters, you have to look at the fighting game genre for that because they're the ones that really key in on that aspect of playability. And Marvel, Capcom has got that down to a T, to the point where they start a roster with a certain amount, and then as the DLCs go on, they release more to expand the roster. Um, I believe this upcoming Street Fighter 6 that's coming out in June, which rest in peace, Nordic Agents free time when that does come out. Um, I believe it's starting with 20, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't released the names of all the characters that are going to be in the initial roster, but an average is 16 to 20 to 23 max of a starting roster for a game. So if um, Multiverse was just coming out this week, that would make sense. But they've been out, even if they call it beta or pre-release mode, for we're coming up on almost a year now, right? It's been out for a minute. They should have had a laundry list of characters on the board ready to release when they did go full on, like they're about to. And Lumi, tell the world the one character they've added with the new patch of Multiverse.
Marvin the Martian was the most recent one. And they're holding off on releasing their next content patch so people can complete the battle pass for season 2.
Which makes no god dang sense.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of underwhelming. I mean, if you're gonna do that, just freaking bring the whole Space Jam people in.
Exactly.
That would be great. I would totally rock some Space Jam.
Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance to dance at the Space Jam.
All right. But yeah, like if you're gonna release, like she said, anything relating to that certain genre, release them all because they have Taz in there already, if I'm not mistaken. They have Bugs Bunny. Do they have Daffy, or is Daffy not in there yet?
Or freaking Porky Pig. Come on, that's all, folks.
That's right. Let him roll up in there, have his sign come up and knock you up, and his big old head come around and slap you back to the left side across the screen. That's all you got to do with these characters. It's not rocket science.
Or freaking have Speedy Gonzalez tripping people. Come on.
You probably don't want Porky Pig trying to knock you up, though.
I mean,
awkward.
So as far as like Looney Tunes, it's just Marvin the Martian, Taz, and Bugs Bunny. I don't see any of the others.
But hey, I mean, it's a good way to have your ham with your eggs.
True. As long as it's not green eggs, you're good.
That never stopped Kermit. So,
or Dr. Seuss.
But she makes a really good point though. If you're gonna do a patch with one character, at least have 3 or 4 from the same realm. Like you could easily do Marvin the Martian, Daffy Duck. I would main the fuck out of Foghorn E. Leghorn. I would knock people senseless with a that's a joke, son. You hear me, boy? That's a joke. It flew right over your head. I say, boy. Yeah, I'd kill it. I'd kill it with Foghorn.
And then Foghorn. Then there's what is it? It's Brutus the dog, maybe. I think they're talking about Tom and Jerry, but what about Tweety Bird? Because there's a lot of people that like Tweety Bird.
Well, for Tweety, you would have to do Tweety and Sylvester because Tweety's so small.
I mean, imagine freaking Tweety out of nowhere, freaking with a giant ass mallet, being like, whap!
That'd be great. And I would love to see Wile E. Coyote with like a freaking Roadrunner as like an install. Like the Roadrunner would come out of nowhere, and if it hits him, it hits the other character. Like, there's so many things you can do with these damn characters. It's not. It makes me mad that they're squandering such a great opportunity, especially when you look at other games like me and Lumi did on Wednesday. Like if y'all haven't seen it yet, it's up on the YouTube channel. I think Lumi said he uploaded the plays that we did.
Yep, and that's where I discovered that your actual recording volume is really low, so I had to adjust all that today.
Well, we're gonna. It's a work in progress, but
always is, always will.
It's what sucks is Pico Park currently has more characters to play than that brawler game.
Mm-hmm. And because Lumi and I were like, what other brawlers are out there?
Oh, wait, before we get to that,
go ahead.
So they held off on season 3 to help people get past the season 2 battle pass. That went over like a ton of brick, right? It was like what? So they're waiting, and their savior of multiverses is going to be, drum roll, Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick.
No, but if you have Harley, you better bring in Ivy, because she would be a good support if she can just restrain people or whatever. Just as like a chic thing from with the vine, just slapping people around with their vines rather than Sheik's, chain whip or something. There's that. There's a lot of things you could do with.
Absolutely. And even with what they're actually trying to release with the whole Pickle Rick thing, sure, you already have Rick and Morty on the roster, but don't just do just Pickle Rick. There's so many other awesome characters from that show you can put into the game and they'd be viable characters. You've got Bird Person, that dude be a phenomenal character to play.
Space Ghost.
Well,
You got Mr. Poopy Butthole. He'd be a great character. You have futuristic. What's the daughter's name? I didn't know it Wednesday. Who knows the daughter's name? For for Beth, Jerry, and what's her name?
Summer is the actual
Summer.
daughter,
Summer.
but
Future Summer in that freaking wasteland future that they went
oh
to.
yeah, when she gets all steroided up.
Exactly. Those would be you put those three. You just need three. Those three in the DLC, and it would have sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, she could have it like as a power up move or something. Be like, and then she used to have like Rick and Summer just like punching people with the music going on in the background.
And then if you're doing a duos and you have Rick in the party, they could tag team Super and they both get the steroid injection and just beat the shit out of the other player. Like there's so many things. Why are we not making this game?
See, I'm assuming they're tying LeBron into this game because of Taz and Bugs with the Space Jam thing. So just have the whole crew come out. Then you
Me
have the
too.
Steven Universe. You could have like Garnet and all the other gems and even Peridot. You have that to choose from. And then like
You have Superman and Wonder Woman. You can bring in Green Lantern. You can bring in the Flash. Like
what
you can
about even if we're talking about other universes, why not Static Shock?
exactly. Oh
here's
my gosh.
here's a good question. They just have Arya Stark in there. Why haven't they put in the other Game of Thrones, Joffrey or
Because
Ned
Ned's dead.
Stark? Huh?
Because Ned's dead.
Yeah, most of the characters that could be in there are actually dead. Yes, that is true. But you still got Jon Snow. You can put him up in there.
I could
Yeah,
probably
but he's
rock some
trying to bring
Hodor.
people back up.
Hodor! No, don't mention Hodor.
That was such a sad.
It was.
Or even like with Jon Snow and the wolves, that would be nice. Or Daenerys, like riding in on a dragon, or what is it? Grey Worm.
Yep.
Tyrion Lannister would be hilarious. He would just sit there and drink.
And then throw in the White Walker King or whoever the leader of the White Walkers were, and then have him summon these zombies that attack the entire freaking time you play. Like it's like they have such a great roster and such a creative thing they can do, and we're stuck on trying to meme it with Pickle Rick. I just
Or
don't
even have
understand their
like the
brain cells.
cast of Seinfeld or whatever. Just stands
you
up,
just
be like,
you just
ah.
you just see a door open from nowhere and see Kramer slide in and knock somebody off the map.
Maybe not Kramer. He's been like blacklisted from every comedy club for being racist.
True.
Like I watched that YouTube video. I'm like, oh my god, I can't.
Yeah, that was brutal. I was
Yeah.
like, holy fuck.
That or Emperor's New Groove. Me and Amy watched, Kronk's New Groove. You can have like Kronk with the squirrels.
We're going into Disney territory. You probably see
Yeah.
that in Disney's
Oh.
Dreamlight before you see it anywhere else.
True. I mean, that would be nice if they had it on even Smash. Like how Vesma would be like, Kronk, pull the lever. Ah, I'm off the map.
That'd be awesome. You have a 50% chance of the lever being correct.
Yeah, either you get smashed or they get smashed. It doesn't matter. And meanwhile, Krunk is like, oopsie,
My bad.
Squeak, squeakity, squeak, squeak.
Yes.
What did you just call my mom?
So Cajun and I, we did some comparisons with some of the other brawlers that are out there that we found on Steam. One being, was it Heroes of the Aether, I believe is what it was?
I believe that's what it's called. Yes.
And even they have...
Rivals of the Aether.
Rivals of the Aether. Even they have like... I think they had like base characters. There's like 12 base characters.
I actually still have the website up. Give me 1 second.
There's like 12 base characters, but what Cajun found out is that you could build your own characters with parts. And I'm like, oh, well, that changes the dynamic quite a bit.
Yeah, they've been out for a while, and their core roster is 18. including a couple of crossover people like Shovel Knight, and they have Ori and Seam from Ori and the Blind Forest as a crossover character for their game. Like crossovers are great. We're going to touch on that a little bit later, but like Lumi said, I was just poking my the buttons at the top to see what else they had, and they had a big old thing that says workshop. I click on workshop, and it says we have the Rivals Team Workshop modding manual. Here you will find technical details and references you'll need in creating your own characters, stages, and buddies in Rivals of Aether. Excuse me? I can make my own character for this game and beat the shit out of somebody? Sign me up.
Yeah.
That is a great hook for a game. Great hook for a game.
And then we turned our attention to Brawlhalla.
Which was right up my alley considering the name and everything. And we were not prepared for the depth of their roster when we got there.
Yep, they have 56 legends. And I think we discovered because they had a bunch of skins for those legends too. So aside from like the color palette swap that they had different skins you could throw on them, like Shovel Knight and a bunch of other stuff. I actually have the thing up
Yeah,
in the
like
Twitch chat.
yeah,
You know,
like
with that
Shovel.
metaverse thing, though, I'm kind of glad that they didn't go to the Teen Titans route because they probably would have did the Teen Titans Go route, and that would give me more of an opportunity to seek out the people that played the Go Robin and just like target them.
Like we try not to talk about Teen Titans Go, especially how the Teen Titans
Uh,
original series ended. But yeah, I'm agree they shouldn't that show should not exist.
what's interesting about that is I went to go see the latest movie with one of my kids, right? Teen Titans Go to the movies or whatever it is. And yeah, Teen Titans Go to the movies. Yes, yeah. And even at the end, like in the middle of the credits, like interrupts the credits and it shows OG Teen Titans going, "We're trying to find our way back," so forth and so on. Like like interrupt the stream or whatnot. Like it was pretty epic.
I'm still sitting here like, don't give me hope.
Oh, that's
Do not give me hope and let this all be like a simulation. They've been trapped somewhere. And this was all just a joke. Don't give me freaking hope for this show, man. Don't do that to me. Like the OG fans are pissed that we're sitting here with bated breath. This actually could be it. Don't do it. Do not just dangle the carrot. Please don't.
So Cage and I got curious and we're like, okay, well let's do this, and it's free, so why not? I mean, it's on Steam. I just went, I would like to play this. It goes, would you like to add it to your library? And I'm like, yes, yes, please. And I added it to my library.
And they
And
give you what 8, 9 free characters just to try out, like a rotation, like the League of Legends does. They give you free champions to play.
hmm and boy, howdy, it was an experience. It kind of plays like Smash, but not really, because every character is unique, and it it I hate to say it, it hits different. It really did. Agent and I just opened up a private a room and like messed around with the characters, see what they did and whatnot. It's a blast. Like, oh my gosh, the knuckle dusters on those on Rock, dude. Like,
Like Lumi had such a good right hook with that character. I never saw it coming, and he beat my ass with that character. It was great fun. Um, and Lumi touched on it a little bit while we were while he was bringing it in. Um, he has the long roster of 58 different characters with all unique styles and move sets, but a lot of them have unique skins to bring in the crossover aspect of it. Like you can play as Shovel Knight with one of the skins. You can play as Ken and Ryu with one of the skins. You can play as Chun Li, more Street Fighter characters in there. You can play as Hellboy. You can play as the Ninja Turtles. You can play as some wrestlers like Roman Reigns and
the Undertaker.
Undertaker. Like there's so many crossovers that they've done just through skins. They didn't have to make a whole brand new character for them, but it allows you to play those characters in the game, which is a genius idea. Which I think I think Brawlhalla has been out longer than Smash Brothers for the Switch. If I'm not mistaken. It was out before Switch got got Smash Brothers. I think Nintendo kind of borrowed that idea with their Mii's because in the Mii's you can unlock skins to play like Sam. What's the skeleton's? I said his name earlier. The skeleton from Undertale, the meme dude. Help! Somebody's got to know that one.
Sans?
Yes, him. You can play as Sans with the Me unlock. You can play as um multiple different characters you can unlock just through the skins. I think they got that from Brawlhalla. I really think they borrowed that idea from them, which would be a really cool like ha, we started it first kind of deal with those guys. Um, but the game in of itself just feels fresh. It feels like a fun game. Like I got bored with Smash really easy just because it was basically a lot of characters just rehashed with different skins,
Mm.
and it didn't have a lot of uniqueness to it other than a handful of characters. Brawlhalla, even though the buttons are pretty much the same, the special effects, the abilities, the changing of weapons, everything about it seems fluid to me. And it was, and I, if Louie and I weren't about to pass out as it was, I think we could have gone out for another hour or two just testing everything. I came really close to unlocking the whole roster because that game is actually a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very. Yeah. No, like I had a blast, and it just goes to show that if you take care of your product and make it interesting, not leave your consumers hanging, perhaps maybe you would have a successful product. And I think that's where Multiversus failed. I remember when the hype of that was huge, right? Nobody could stop talking about it. I remember looking at it going, this looks and feels like Smash. Like even the level design felt like Smash with like a Looney Tunes cover on it. I was like, meanwhile, Brawlhalla, not so much, or even Heroes of the Aether. I mean, it's still a platform brawler, but if you could look at something and go, oh, this looks like Smash, and it feels like Smash watching it, I mean, they tried. An attempt was made.
It's something .jpg.
And I remember I was sitting there, I was like, what is even with this Multiversus? I have like no desire to even play this. I already have Smash. Play that with my kids. And Mike Hidalgo, Mr. Open Mic Night.
Old
Yeah,
school friend of
old
ours.
school. Yeah, with the Afro Chicken.
Oh, got Afro Chicken.
Yeah, he hit up his buddy and he was like, "Hey, can you explain this to him?" It felt like I was talking to a crypto bro who couldn't explain crypto to me very well, so they got his other crypto bro friend who knows how to explain it better. And he was like, "Is this for real right now?" So forth and so on. Like it's just another. Everything's just a clone of everything else. Just sit back and enjoy it. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, let's tone it down. Go enjoy your game. Bet
Take
you,
a deep breath.
yeah. But it is what it is.
And
Uh,
to be fair, I've played a little bit of Multiverse. Little man and I tried it on the PlayStation. It's clunky. It's a very clunky game. I feel even now, if it was this was about a few months ago, I don't know. It had probably ain't changed much since. Like it's a clunky game
I have
out the gate.
I have a feeling that Pickle Rick isn't going to save this. Not because it makes sense, but they're going to see a surge of folks come in and play as Pickle Rick, want to play as Pickle Rick, and have that same champion um, famine that you had in League of Legends when everybody wanted to play the new character. You know what I'm talking about?
New car smell.
Yeah, the new car smell. And it's just, you're going to see it for about maybe a week at most, and then it's just going to drop back down because, quite frankly, it's not interesting.
It'll go back up to like 89% of player base is gone, and then drop back down to 99 the next week. It's gonna be just like okay, cool.
Yep.
What else can you offer? Nothing. Okay, we're gone.
It's just leave Rick and Morty in with Fortnite. Don't let Fortnite come into other games. Like now I can just imagine them, oh well, since Rick and Morty's in Fortnite, now Mr. Beast should be in this brawl too. Like what?
Gross.
Well, on that note, Fortnite has kind of invaded other games. I picked up a game for the Xbox called Wild Hearts, and I've been on the fence about it because it's another Monster Hunter, right up there with God Eater and a few others. And I was on the fence. I was like, it's EA, but it's also Namco Toei, I believe. So it's interesting. It's set in feudal Japan, but well, it's not set in feudal Japan. It's set in feudal Japan-esque type settings. So they got pointy stick technology and they make swords. About as much as I could do it in lots. But
Pointy him goes in the other guy.
yes. But there is a build system in there. So you can build crates, climb up on them, launch yourself. monsters. Later on, you can build like a brace walls where monsters charge at you, they run into it, they get knocked over. There's a bunch of awesome options in, but it flows and feels like Fortnite, where you pick your blueprint as you're doing your thing and build it as you go. So you can do some really crazy, awesome acrobatic stuff while beating down. So in a way, the Fortnite mechanic of building actually moved over to this. Really awesome. But I totally get you. Please don't let Fortnite go anywhere else. Ugh.
Like Fortnite and Smash Brothers are trying to get the biggest EP out there with how many intellectual properties they can get into their own game.
You know, I bet you the only thing that's going to save Multiversus. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Wario.
No, Waluigi.
Oh, yeah, Waluigi.
Let Waluigi just walk up and you see him walking in the background. And he has the Smash invite in his hand and he rips it in half and he says, Waluigi shows up in Multiverse. That'd be great.
They opened up the door to a lot of characters with Harley. They're obviously using the Harley from, the animated one where they could incorporate, Ivy. They could, Joker, Penguin, Mr. Freeze's wife, maybe.
How would that work? She's in a capsule.
Watch the show.
Oh, I haven't. That fair enough.
Dude, you'll like it.
I think I will. I've seen clips. I need to just sit down and watch it.
Or I could stream it one night. I don't care.
There we go. No longer caring. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. War.
War.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Oh.
Sorry, I don't want to be copyright struck, so I said everything.
It's good for shareholders.
Oh.
Too soon?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
The business of war makes money. But this particular conversation has to deal with one of the most recent releases, Atomic Heart. As you know, Atomic Heart is made by a Russian studio in Russia. Had the name.
Mick Gordon?
No, I got the composer's name. Looking for the developer's name. Mundfish. So it is a Russian studio. It is in Russia. Right. And Mick Gordon took his fee and said he is going to donate it to the Ukrainian humanitarian aid. I think specifically it was put out. Terrible at this. There it is. It's like, okay, so Lumi needs to learn to read and organize his notes. The Australian Red Cross Ukraine Crisis, I think is what, he put it out, at least according to the article found on people. So what's interesting about this, that he's doing this, and which is a great thing. But he did it not to disavow the game or its developer. He actually said working with him was great. Highly praised for the imagination and artistic freedom that the developer had, and excited to hear his musical contributions come to life when the game comes out. But the flip side, that again, Mundfish is the Russian studio. And
it's kind of a nice kick in the face.
It is. And they've been criticized for not being pro-Ukraine enough. And if there's anything you know about Russian government, it's like Fight Club.
Right. Absolutely.
Don't talk about the. So anything that is anti-government, so they have to be very careful. And I don't blame them for keeping their mouth. Right?
They don't have a choice, or they'll be completely blacklisted and worse from the government.
Oh, thrown in prison. I have no idea what the rules are for speaking out government.
Likely thrown in prison these days, and then conscripted into fighting in. Yeah.
Oh, so that's how they get the meat for the meat.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
meat grinder. Well, it's
Meat grinder. I'm terrible tonight.
it's yeah, it's starting to slow down because there's apparently a rift happening between a PMC and the poutine platter that's in charge over there. Um, just to keep it not entirely political, but I mean it's a political statement, so good on him. Uh, their their methods of conscription have been very interesting, and then failure to perform has been dealt with in rather explosive methods. And I don't mean boom; I mean explodey brains when you use a sledgehammer. That has
Gallagher
been now
show.
documented a few times, and thankfully I haven't seen any of that shit.
Ugh.
But yeah, it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, like I posted to you guys just now. There's a band that I usually listen to from Russia called Little Big, and they literally left their home in Moscow for the US because there's such an unprecedented crackdown on free speech in that government. So they quote saying, "They're depriving me the right to say that I don't agree with murder." So they left and they went to Los Angeles because it was either exile, silence, or arrest.
It's a shame that's the level that they have to get to. Like, I hate to say it the way I'm going to put it. Like, we take free speech for granted in this country.
Oh yeah,
We take it for super granted, especially when a lot of the bigger players that are out there have such a firm grip on their own censorship to where you only see the front panel, whereas the back of the house is just a total shit show.
Don't forget, we're an
absolutely.
international podcast. Idiot Hunter.
Yes, I mean he can agree though. For the most part, you guys have just as much free speech in Canada as we do in the U.S. As far as I'm concerned, or if I'm mistaken, please correct me. Um,
Sorry, what was that?
like freedom of speech is on the same level as we have down here. Like you won't get like
It's a little bit different. So a lot of the stuff that gets said in the U.S. or promoted in the U.S. that's really extreme would actually be considered hate speech in Canada, because you do have freedom of speech, but there is a limit to that freedom. And when you start trying to encourage others to act on things, or if you try to do a couple other things, which I won't really get into, you will be charged with, or investigated and likely charged for hate speech. So we do have limits, but to get to that limit, you gotta go something fierce to get there.
out of mild curiosity, how would the article in the New York Times with "old girl" have been handled in Canada?
I'm not familiar with that one.
You you retweeted on it on Twitter. That's the only reason why I know about it.
Oh my god, do you know how much stuff I retweet in a day?
It was the chick that defended Jr. For the game and all her.
Oh Jesus, the wizard game.
Yeah,
So that person, that's free. Like, as long as you aren't promoting, um, essentially trying to get people to act on something, you're okay. So you can say you hate blank, that's okay. But if you say I hate blank and you should too, and we should get rid of them, that crosses over into hate speech. So it really depends on the context. If you sit there and you're like, we need to eradicate hate speech. If you just say, I don't like them, that's okay. There was a libel case involving news outlet that's not even news in Alberta. um, they were found guilty of libel because they were doing everything possible to slander somebody based on stereotypes, if I remember correctly. I could be a little fuzzy on the details. Canadian listeners that are news savvy will probably know who I'm referencing. He's a bit of a dick and thinks he's a news outlet, but yeah, it really depends on the context and depends on what your message is. You can absolutely say nothing but still be trying to promote something type thing. You can insinuate. Once you start insinuation, then it leads to potential hate speech at that point.
it sounds like many of our religious establishments down here wouldn't last very long in Canada.
No, they're starting to take hold, and that scares the ever living shit out of me. Our previous prime minister, uh, he made a big thing of promoting views that are espoused by a very particular group in the States, and it was absolutely horrifying. And he made it known that he was going to. Um, he made the mistake one day of saying "God bless Canada," and he got raked over the coals for it, because that's not something you say in Canada. If you start saying that, you're gonna get laughed at, because the fuck is wrong with you? Um, yeah, like, so for us, religion and politics are just, you don't mix them.
Which is how it
And when you
should be, by the way.
yeah, and when you start doing it, it's like, ugh, cringe.
Get
It
weird
just,
shit like having to record your menstrual cycle to the government.
yeah, that's,
Mhm.
people are happy to say that's not fascism. I'm sorry, like, when you're starting to have to report everything to the government, that's literal fascism. And when they start trying to control everything, that's actual fascism. So the people that are starting to put in those rules that mandate they have access to all that information, they know everything about everything you do, that is actually, getting into that whole fascism world.
Yeah, when the government can use information on your menstrual cycle to not even prove, but to simply accuse you of having an abortion,
Yeah.
that's not good. It's
That's when
not.
Yeah,
you
that.
can lie about it. Oh yeah, I had my period between this and this.
But the thing is, though, they can word it the right way. If they want to drag you through the mud and say, "Oh, she did this, so we could charge her for this," they will.
Well, the
That's what
thing
it's
is,
getting
too,
to.
you have to think about this. There's a lot of people with PCOS or other hormonal imbalances. Because, like, when I was younger, I used to have unnatural or at least extended periods or whatever that weren't normal.
Oh,
So
Oh,
that doesn't matter to them, though.
no, these old white folk up in Capitol Hill, they don't even know how a female works, let alone what a menstrual cycle actually is.
Well, the bad
Yeah.
part about that is it's state level, right? So,
Yeah.
Which
but
is still scary for a couple of states.
but but for now, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's get back to Ukraine. We have our resident fella, Imi. So, Imi, what's the best way to support humanitarian efforts and Ukraine?
So the Ukrainian government runs a couple charity websites that are helping to get humanitarian aid out there, and also help arm them. Trying to remember what it was called. You put me on the spot, and I'm like, oh no.
Well, this was
sorry.
this
Actually,
was
let
going to
me
be your
check the.
segment. I was trying to carry it the best I can. I'm glad you chimed in.
Yeah,
Sorry, my
we
voice
chased
is
we chased
adly
a couple
toasted.
of we chased a couple of rabbits, so he wasn't able to stay on target. That's kind of my fault.
So you can go to u24.gov.ua, and that is the official Ukrainian government fundraising site if you want to throw some money their way. They've been buying drones. They just bought a drone ship thanks to a whole bunch of brain dead cartoon dogs on the internet. It is actually called Raccoon's Revenge, and I can't wait for it to smoke a particular ship out there. But yeah, you can go to u24.gov.ua. They've got ways you can get donations into them to help them out.
Stuff.
And yeah.
Yeah, pro Ukraine all the way.
Yep. Oh, also you can go to if you want to see what all the specific things that NAFO is fundraising for, you can go to nafo.uk/home, and they will have a huge list of all kinds of places that are accepting donations for humanitarian aid. They are all vetted as legit, which is fantastic. So you can head on over to nafo.uk/home or u24.gov.ua to go help out. Get rid of some vatniks.
nafo.co.uk, is that what it was?
nafo.uk.
nafo.uk, okay.
Yes.
Anything else to that, or is it just nafo.uk?
Sorry, what was that?
Anything else to that, or is it just nafo.uk?
nafo.uk/home. I think it'll work without the /home. But there you go. You can help kick some vatniks out of Ukraine.
Dude.
And fun fact, Canada has one of the largest populations of Ukrainians outside of Ukraine.
I know living in Oregon, there was a good population of Russians. Those guys are great, by the way. Really easy going. But every one of them drove a Mercedes. It was...
You
Anyway.
like what you like, Lumi. You like what you like.
Well, no, I mean, it was just Portland, Oregon. Like, everybody drove German cars. It was weird. Like, in Texas now, and I'm used to seeing the big trucks and yeehaw going on. So it was quite the culture shock going there. Like, why are you driving
Yeehaw.
around these, like, terrible vehicles? Well, they're great vehicles, but, like, terribly expensive vehicles. But moving on to our next subject, let's talk about drugs.
Yay, drugs.
Woohoo.
Drugs. So this is kind of funny. I didn't even know this movie existed until it came across the news feed, and it is a game based off of a movie called Cocaine Bear.
I want to watch that movie so bad.
Cocaine Bear.
And I was like, cocaine what? Like, are they just trying? Like, I for a second there when I read it, I thought, am I in Idiocracy? Am I about to watch Ass the movie? And, like, I don't know what's happening.
This is Smokey the Bear's little known cousin.
Apparently, that was a real thing that happened.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, I actually have that here. So the movie itself, I mean, mind you, the game that was advertised is PacMan-ish. So you have to go eat the cocaine, kill the human. Imagine that. It's a forest. Pretty straightforward. It's hilarious. And this is While You Wait for Cocaine Bear, which is released February 23rd, I think. So there's that. But check this out. The premise of the movie is an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converge in a Georgia forest where a 500-pound bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. And as Amy said, it was inspired by a true story of the Cocaine Bear, which is an actual thing. The bear has been stuffed and is put in a museum in Kentucky, right? Of the Cocaine Bear, the American black bear that ingested a duffel bag full of cocaine in 1985.
A duffel bag full? Holy
yeah.
crap.
Oh, yeah. No,
It had enough to kill several humans, but it's a freaking bear, and they're quite beefy.
So I get this. So well, I don't know who Elizabeth Banks is or Jimmy Warden. So that's directed by Elizabeth Banks and Jimmy Warden. But the big name on here, and I'm sure you'll remember him from Grand Theft Auto 4. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ray Liotta.
No.
Oh, no.
One of his final performances before.
That's hilarious. Wait, he's dead?
As I understand. This is what the article said.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I was not aware that he had passed away.
It's neat. It tells you when the pre-roll ads come back on. Anyway, so here's the real life story. The film is inspired by the real life story. I'm reading this one word for word from the Wikipedia. All sources of anything we talked about will be in the description on the Discord. Will be available to you. Go look for game discussion on Discord. It's searchable because we didn't make this shit. Some of the shit you just can't make up. The film is inspired by the real story of a 175-pound American black bear that died after ingesting a duffel bag full of cocaine in December 1984. The cocaine had been dropped out of an airplane piloted by Andrew C. Thornton II, a former narcotics officer and convicted drug smuggler. Because his plane was carrying too heavy a load, Thornton then jumped out of the plane with a faulty parachute and died. So he threw this stuff out of the plane.
That dude said, "Hey, George, you're too heavy. Drop the shit."
Right. The bear was found 3 months later in northern Georgia alongside 40 opened plastic containers of cocaine. The bear is currently on display at the Kentucky Fun Mall in Lexington.
Now, the question is, did they kill the bear or did the bear's heart just explode?
Oh, it died.
Probably
Okay.
got shot or something, or just overdosed.
So poor Cocaine Bear, like, can you imagine being a bear just going, oh, what's this? Oh, humans wrap stuff in this. I'm going to have myself a sandwich. Next
Hey,
thing you
boo-boo,
know,
buddy, I got some good shit over here, boo-boo.
I love
Oh,
powdered
no.
donuts.
so, you have
Oh,
that
no.
scene from Robot Chicken where the Yeti gets the cocaine and, like, goes, he was smuggling cocaine through the airport and the condoms burst inside of him, and he like rips everyone.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's our fun stuff. So that might be a fun movie. It's a dark comedy. I'm down for dark comedies. I hate serious comedies.
Agreed.
Speaking
Yeah, the
of, what?
only reason why I brought up powdered donuts is if you actually watch Bloodhound Gang's video, they have a character that looks like Scarface in the bathroom doing not cookie, but powdered donuts.
Powdered donuts.
Nice.
I was about to say cookie. No, but Ray Liotta died last March.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
What's interesting is that the whole world knew when Professor Snape died.
Oh yeah.
Like my wife.
Oh, and Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid was worse, man. That one hit me hard.
But yet we still have Tom Baker. He's still kicking around. Dick Van Dyke. So
Dick Van Dyke's still alive?
I know, dude. His Facebook page is continually populated. He's got some cool people around him.
But he's still on the death list.
Like at this point, we're trying to go neck and neck to see who's going to go first, him or Bob Barker.
Oh man!
Let me see what the death list says.
No, he's still alive. He's actually still alive.
Yeah, actually, Dick Van Dyke is number 1 on the 2023 death list as most likely to die. Henry Kissinger is number 2. Bob Barker is number 3.
Like I said, it's neck and neck, boys. Picking all bits.
You're talking about Alan Rickman for...
Yes, Alan Rickman. Oh, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah. I wonder how long Betty White was. Like, that would be
she was on everybody's bingo card for years.
Well, she was on the Going to Live Forever bingo card.
Honestly,
her and the Queen, yeah.
There's a lot of names on here that I'm seeing on the list because it's 1 to 50, and some of these names actually makes me sad. It kind of makes me want to just like hold on to them tight. Like Tina Turner is on the list.
Is she still alive? I thought she was
yeah.
gone.
Willie Nelson's on the list.
Oh my God, that guy.
No, he will never die.
Yoko Ono's on the list. Then there's
Yoko's alive?
Yeah.
Dude.
Mel Brooks, Dick Cheney, Tony Bennett, and of course Jimmy Carter, but he's sorry. Try not to be a Debbie Downer. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Anyway.
No, our show has its ups and downs. We had our serious moments. We talked about Cocaine Bear to lighten the mood and everything. So we had a good time. We did. Which brings us to the end where we have to do our round table. So let's start it off with Cajun. What you got coming up this week?
Well, typically I would say come and watch some Shiny Hunt action on Tuesday. However, there is a game being re-released on the PlayStation Plus network on Tuesday. A game that is near and dear to my heart when I was a kid. I played the ever-living hell out of this game. And to me, to this day, it's still one of the best RPGs I have ever played. And yes, I 100% did Final Fantasy VII. I still think this game is on par, if not better, than Final Fantasy VII. Come at me. It is The Legend of Dragoon. It is being re-released onto the PlayStation Network this Tuesday, and that will be my glorious obsession until I beat it again. So we're going to be putting the Shiny Dex hunt on pause until I spam Rose Storm at least 100 times a night in that game. It's going to be a grand time. That's going to be Tuesday at 8:30 and Thursday at 8:30. Tuesday might be tentative because I just remembered I have 2 12-hour shifts back to back on Tuesday and Wednesday. But knowing me, just because of how bad I don't play this game, I'm going to be there Tuesday. So you should too.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Are you going to be wearing your shiny Umbreon onesie?
No, we're going to go default Cajun skin on the Legend Dragoon nights.
Maybe
we're going to say
maybe a palette swap.
Yes, palette swap. We're gonna eventually I'm gonna get my PNG tuber done so we can just have that. But until then, you see me in all my furry glory as I am. So Don't take that out of context.
Well,
Confirmed furry.
let's talk about the crit code, or you guys want to be separated today as far as what we're doing?
Well, I know what I did today. Partially did today. Pico Park, Pico Park, Pico Park, Pico Park.
I just
Probably,
saw that notification, by the way. I think that's what I'm doing after this.
probably, again, probably one of those games that are a little bit better than Final Fantasy VII because you can actually play with more people and get angry at them and laugh at them.
Yes, and want to murder your friends.
You should check all.
Moida,
No,
he
so
says.
check all the comments. Check all the comments under like Pico Park. I laughed. I cried. I wanted to throw my friend through the wall.
Yeah.
And I think you're also gonna pick up a Tail. I'm really interested in that game. Like, I kind of want to play.
Oh, it was so fun. It really was.
Tales from the Abyss.
Tales of the Abyss.
Oh, sorry, yeah. What is that game all about? I've never heard of it before.
It's like kind of like a giant. I want to say it's like a storyline based thing. There's a lot of cutscenes in it, but it's fighting and stuff like that. So I
Neat.
I really back in 2007, it was my favorite game.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna come out for the Switch, right? So
I think it's not. That's not. I'm gonna check to see if they're doing any updates on Tales. But I think what's coming to the Switch is Bad and Kados. Bad and Kados is coming to the Switch. Both 1 and 2 is getting remastered. That one is again fantasy, combat, kind of like it's back then it was kind of like a unique play style because you had to choose, cards and whatnot, and it was also kind of like poker based or whatever, but still that storyline is really good. The characters are beautiful. One of my favorite characters in that whole series was I believe Melodia. So yeah,
Neat.
when it does come out, you'll like it.
Cool. I look forward to it. Make time for it, just like I made time for Pokemon playing and monster hunting.
One of us. One of us.
I realized doing this, I need to play more video games. And
If I'm,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, Bad and Kados actually. Do you know how the discs were so small for the GameCube, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to play that game on 3 small discs.
Oh no. Like Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VII, but on the mini disc.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
PlayStation 1, poor baby.
Oh.
Which, to be fair, Legend of Dragoon also had 4 discs.
Oh
So
Yeah,
wow.
it's gonna be a big game, dude.
Yeah, Serafina. Look for the remake that's coming out for Bad and Kados. Uh, if you look it up, back in 2003, it came out initially. Compared to other games, it wasn't as popular, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, or whatever. But as soon as I picked it up, because my mom randomly showed me this game, I liked it. I liked the storyline. That was me pairing it up next to Tales of the Abyss. And back in 2007, a lot of people dressed up as characters from Tales of the Abyss, like Luc von Fabra and stuff like that. So it's definitely underrated for its time, but it still has a cult following to it. As you can tell, 20 years later, I'm still geeking out over it.
Fangirls unite.
I'm on point with my my reference linking tonight. Right.
Get it.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
you want to give us a quick synopsis of what you're doing? Because I know that your voice isn't doing too well.
I am revisiting Doom 3, the original 2006 or 2004 game. It's been a very long time since I've played it, so I'm having fun being absolutely stupid trying to get the mods to work that I was working on. I have them mostly working.
Perfect. You mentioned something about a duct tape mod, which I'm really interested in hearing, and I'd love to hear you explain it like after the podcast.
Yeah, no worries.
The new game that came out in early access called Igdra Union came out in 2006, and they are re-releasing it on Steam, and I'm excited. Interesting. I haven't played too much yet, but yeah. Ah, all right, cool. I'll have to go check that out.
By the way, the music from Bad and Kato's really slapped. Holy crap. That's another thing back in the day. I just remember like all the battle themes and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, it's time. I'm hyped.
Yeah, they got those like hearing the Trigun theme, like you get hyped, like, oh, I know what's coming. But other than that, what am I doing? Imy's doing Doom, Crit Chicken's waiting for games. Agent's going to be playing Legend of Dragoon. And Lumi is going to be doing more work stuff. I'm actually off this week. And by work, I mean podcast work, not like my day job. So
I got excited for you for a second. Now I'm sad.
yeah, what? Oh, no. I mean, this is.
I enjoy it when you have time off. Let me have my moment.
Okay. So, what have I got going? I need to make a channel trailer that is synonymous with both Twitch and YouTube. I need to come up with a show starter stinger. It's going to be so I need to finish the website. So I'll be asking for stuff from you later.
Yeah.
Just to get something out there people can reference, links back to this Twitch channel. Make it legit. So this IP 42 minutes of relaxing.
Yes. That's Crit Chicken's other account. She renamed it.
Oh.
The
Okay.
Vision.
Yes, she can be a kitty.
I didn't want to be the other name that I had was I didn't want to look too much like a Fallout Boy stan. I wanted to stand out.
I figured, when I first saw it, I didn't even think about the band. I thought about Fallout Bethesda. I was like, all right, which vault are you from, Crit? Like that's where my brain. I didn't think about the band until you started posting all the Fallout boy stuff on Twitch, and I'm like, oh, not Twitch, Twitter.
She told on herself.
And I was like, oh, okay.
You're that Fallout fan.
War never changed. So, with that, I think that we can call this good. Start the music here real quick. You can find us every weekend, Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Central Standard, for a brand new episode of UDP Broadcast. You can see all of our backlog at youtube.com/Luminary Weekly. And that's it. Follow my shenanigans on Twitter. Imy21, Needs Espresso, The Nordic Cajun, in all places and all times.
Yep.
So, until then, everyone have a great week. We'll see you again Saturday.
So long, chat.
Farewell.
Kick ass and take names. See you later.
Bye.